Okay, so we left off right after we plotted these points. We entered the points. We did a scatter plot of them to remind you what we did. We went and got a graphs page, and remember we did a scatter plot. We went to scatter plot right here, and here's where we entered on the x-axis. We said it was S. On the y-axis, we said it was M. And then we also went to our window and did window settings. And that's where we set these things right here. What I was telling you about, if you want to change this to like -10 and change this to like -50, then all that does is move the x-axis a little bit so that, we can see more of the, this is way too much, I think. Didn't need to go to -10, and I might have been needed to go. So anyway, it doesn't matter. You can just play with the window. I'm going to go back. I don't like that window. I'm going to go back to the window settings. I don't need to go. Let's just go to -5. And on this one, let's do maybe -100. And see, that's much nicer. I got a little bit more room over here, and I like that because I wanted to get that label out of the way. It was in the way. So anyway, you can play with your window until it's pretty and you can see what you want to see. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to have the calculator do a quadratic regression. In other words, we're going to have it tell us what quadratic equation will fit through or is the best fit for these points right here. So we're going to have to go back to, we want to do a quadratic regression. Actually, I think you can do it on the home screen. I'm going to do it two ways. You're going to go back to this thing right here. And when you get here, you're going to do menu. You're going to choose statistics because a regression is a statistical calculation. So I picked, let me go back. I did menu. I chose option number 4. And then after you choose option number 4, you choose option number 1. So menu 4-1. And then this gives us this big long list of all kinds of regressions that we can do. What kind of regression do we want to do? We're wanting to do a quadratic regression. So we're going to pick this one right here, number 6, quadratic regression. And then it's just going to ask us where our x values. You can press the little button over here. Our x values are in the S list. Where are our y values? Our y values are in the N list. This is very interesting because what it's going to do is once it writes the quadratic equation, it will graph it on whichever function line you want it to. So it's going to automatically put F1 as long as F1 is empty. If F1 already had a function there, it would put it on the first empty one and put it on F2, F3. The rest of these, don't worry about those. These are the only 3 things that you want. Where are your X numbers? Where are your Y numbers? And where do you want it to graph it? So you just press OK now. And you're like, what? I don't see anything. Well, we're seeing the end of it here. If you'll scroll up. I don't know how I got so far down. You scroll up. You can see right here that this is the standard form of a quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c. There's the equation, and this is the value of a, this is the value of b, and this is the value of c. Now, in the instructions in your textbook, it says, it'll give you a rounding rule. Oh, right here. Round coefficients and constants to the nearest tenth. Okay, so they don't want us to write down all of these decimals. And by the way, if you highlight that, it'll give you even more decimals than it shows you right there. So we want to write down round to the nearest tenth. So the value of A is -6 point. This is the 10th value, so you look at the 3. The 3 is a number smaller than 5, so don't change the 9. So A is -6.9. So if we were writing down our homework over here, Hang on. Let me write this down. Let me get my pen. I would write down A is negative 6.9. B is 103.8. So B is 103.8. And C is negative 11.8. So C is negative 11.8. So if we wanted a function, then we would say that this is a function, or we could just say m, that's our y value, is equal to negative 6.9x squared plus 103.8x minus 11.8. So there is a quadratic equation that fits that modeled, that fits that data. So if you don't want to have to take my word for it. So let's go over here, go back to the calculator, and let's see. Remember a while ago when we did the quadratic regression, it picked that it was going to graph it on F1. So let's go back over here and let's look at this page and like, it didn't graph anything. Well, let's see. Let's go to menu and let's go to function. Notice that F2 popped up. Why did F2 pop up? If you use the up arrow button right there, you'll see that they plotted, or they went ahead and graphed. They put the whole bunch of decimals on there, but they put down that quadratic equation on there. It's already listed on F1 for us. Isn't that nice that we didn't have to copy it down and then type it in there ourselves? All you have to do is press enter, and there it is.